down, lay it down. That can't sit over there. Now you gotta go right in. That's what I said. Can't go in that corner. That chair's in the frame. Just take it all the way out.
This is Lady Esquire, and I am here with my co-host,
Ice Cold Dre the Game, man. What's up, man?
And this is our first episode of
Legally Loaded.
Legally Loaded is a show that is designed specifically so that we can reach out to the Black and minority communities, and we can talk about the law. We can talk about educating each other on the law, all the way from the White House all the way down to your house, right? So today we're going to be talking about several different topics. Feel free to jump into the chat, ask questions as we go. We're going to talk about some real basics, right, about what's going on at the government level right now and how it's really supposed to be working, and then what's really going on.
For real.
And then a little later on in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about a lawsuit that T.I. and Tiny
is going through.
That they've been going through lately. And then always, the last part of the show will be Today's Tea, where we talk about something that is relevant to you today that you can use in your everyday life. So sit back, get comfy. About to have some real life conversations today.
Yes, we are. Yes,
so,
we are.
What do you think about the new show concept?
I love it. Basically, there was a lot of questions that I had about the law, and I've also did all my homework that I was given. So I just want you to understand that I'm basically going to be the raw part of the show.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of things that we feel that is the right thing, and we are totally wrong. And we will discuss all of that stuff.
Yes. And it's going to be important to discuss because a lot of times we think that we're doing the right thing, and that's why we hear these words like, oh, I'm going to sue y'all, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then we're really upset when we can't.
Right.
We can't sue because we didn't take the right steps or we misunderstood something. So that's exactly what, not to say I want everybody running out suing people, but we're going to learn the right steps, right? So I am a licensed attorney, but what we will say every show is that everything we discuss here on Legally Loaded is for legal knowledge.
Right.
It's not legal advice because the laws are different in every state. And we're here to inform and educate, not to represent you. So every situation is different, and the law varies by state and can change at any time. So if something that we cover applies to your life, please take the time to reach out to a licensed attorney in your state before you take action.
Exactly.
So,
and what we have to stop doing is being YouTube lawyers. You have to stop being social media lawyers because that's where you go wrong.
It is. A lot of times it's where you go wrong. And but we'll talk along the way throughout our show every week about things you can do to find more accurate information. Google University does not have a law degree, contrary to what some people believe.
It sure does.
But there are ways that you can look for valid information online that will at least give you a starting place, right? And so we'll start talking about those things too, and how to narrow down what's valid information and what's not, because that's important. Sometimes there's not an attorney available.
Right, and then you also have to think about, listen, y'all, AI is not an attorney either. So stop getting on AI thinking that AI, you can get on AI and say, well, AI, what's that new one? Chat GPT?
Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Nix that. Chat GPT will lead you the wrong way every trip if it's law related.
You know what I'm saying?
Every
so
trip.
we have to stop doing that as well. So where we gonna start at right now?
So the first thing we're going to start at is just really talking about some really high level government law, which is our Constitution. Right. And the way our Constitution is designed is our government is broken into three parts. There is the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch, right? But I don't know that we always understand what their jobs are in each branch, and the fact that those three branches work together as a checks and balances system for our country. Or they should together.
All right,
as the checks and balances. So
we should break down each one of them.
Yeah.
Because I think the American people or the Latin communities and any kind of community, I think that they need to understand what does the three what
are their jobs, right?
What
are they doing there? Because we don't get to see everything that they do. Similar to any other job, we don't see what goes on behind the scenes. So first, let's start with the legislative branch, because I think we really have kind of a way to break this down and make it those yellow books, like
like the phone books. That's the back of the day.
The next set of yellow books, the ones that would be like plumbing for dummies. Like when I was in law school, I had a book
they had
called
law for dummies,
plumbing for dummies, all that. So we're going to break it down like on the really easy level, hopefully, where people can understand. So let's start with the first branch, the legislative branch. We're going to call them the rule writers. That is your
because
Congress.
That's what they do. That's what they do. They write different laws and everything. Right. So with that being said, you have to understand what we're saying to you. The legislative, all they do is write laws. They write laws and they pass the laws. And they pass the laws. Or try to get them passed before it reaches the next step, right? So they write the laws, and there's 100 members in the Senate, 2 per state, and then the House of Representatives has 435 members based on population of each state. And together, when you put the Senate and the House of Representatives together, that's where you get Congress. Right. So Congress overall writes the rules. And this is like, we always hear these things on the news like, oh, this new law, this new bill went and it was passed by the House of Representatives, but they're still waiting on the Senate, or vice versa. So that's where we get that from. And it's their job to write and pass the laws. And they're like, let's compare this whole situation to a housing complex. So the Congress is like the co-op board. Right. They're the ones that make the rules. Okay. All the way around. So let's just keep that in mind. So what they do, they write the laws, they try to pass the laws, and then they have some other powers. They can override, because later on we'll talk about the president's powers that he actually does have. And they can override president's vetoes if 2/3 of them decide to do that. Impeachment. They can impeach or fire the president, right? And they have to confirm his picks for his cabinet and court justices. And they can declare war, which is something the president can't do alone. All right. So while we're there, While we're there. So this is my thing, right? With the president declaring war without Congress knowing, what is the situation with that? Well, whether we like it or not, we're at war, right? Yeah, but because he started this war. He started the war without their permission, and he should not have. But we saw after he started it, Congress came together and met, and if I recall correctly, they made a decision that there was a valid reason for him to do it under an emergency situation. Now, whether or not we all agree with that, to me, that looks a lot more like CYA. But he should have gotten permission from Congress before starting a war. So basically, when he does things like that, right? Why couldn't it be overturned? It can be. And that's what we're going to learn today, is how that happens. It absolutely can be. So let's move to what the next group is. And then once we have all 3 of them, we'll be able to answer those questions. So branch number 2 is the executive branch. That is the enforcer. So we've now got the rule writers and the enforcer, which is the president. That's who the enforcer is. His job is to enforce the laws that Congress already wrote. That's his job. He's like the building superintendent. I get that, but the thing is, with him doing that, right, that still doesn't make sense on our side for saying, well, he's the president and he declared war, right? And Congress was like, all right, no problem, whatever. It doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be happening this way. Right. So us in the street feels like, yo, you know what? The F-bomb. You know, and that's why he has no love at all. Right. He has like and then we can even talk about what he did. See, I'm not Muslim, but my family is Muslim, right? Right. So the thing is, what I did not like, and I shared this with my family members, Ramadan came around, and this man was just so disrespectful 100%. With Ramadan. So, to my family members that is Muslim, like I feel, and like I said, I'm not Muslim, but I understand the disrespect from him. Yes. And if Congress was like, all right, go ahead and do that, why shouldn't we believe in them?
Good question. And right now, it's got to be a personal choice for each one of us, whether or not we do believe in them, because quite honestly, they have missed the mark with what's going on in this current administration. And there's a lot more things that they could have done from their seat right now to enforce, and they haven't done that. So, but let's just make sure that we get through all three of these. So some other things that the president can do, right? He can veto or reject any bill that Congress passes. He nominates federal judges and Supreme Court justices, and he can issue executive orders, which are like internal memos that tell agencies how to operate. However, they're not laws. They're not laws. They're internal memos to tell people how to operate. So the third branch is the judicial branch, and that's the referee. So you have the rule writers, you have the enforcer, and you have the referee, which is the courts. The Supreme Courts have 9 justices. Our 13 federal courts of appeals and 94 federal district courts are spread all over the country. Right. And they interpret the laws. That's their job. They are the building arbitration. Yeah. So, you know, you went to the super, you asked them to fix this, the super didn't fix it. You know, who are you going to go to? You go to the arbitration and say, we got to fix this. They can make a decision that things that were written by Congress are actually unconstitutional, even though it's already been passed. They can also make a decision that presidential executive orders are unconstitutional. And the beauty to the Supreme Court is that they have lifetime appointments. And that is in place because the Constitution meant for them to never be swayed by who the president is. They can't be fired from their jobs. So whether they came in as Republican or Democrat or they're nonpartisan, they cannot be fired from their jobs. So they're supposed to stand up and check the president and the Congress when they do wrong. And these 3 groups are supposed to work together. So when the president's out of order, Congress can write a new law to try to put that back in order. Congress can file suit and take him in front of the judiciary. The judiciary can also say, hey, something's unconstitutional and it shouldn't be happening this way.
So this is my thing, right? He's the president, but he also is a convicted felon.
Right.
How is that possible?
Because it's not in the Constitution that you can't be. And if you think about how long ago, what?
So
1876?
It's not in the Constitution like that, right? But if I'm a convicted felon, I can't work at a bank.
You are right.
But
the bank is
he's a convicted felon, but he can be our president.
Yes. So the bank can write their own rules. The bank is private. They can write their own rules. Our country operates under the Constitution. And so in order for that to change, Congress would have to enter a bill that says you cannot be the president if you're a convicted felon, and that bill would have to get passed and entered in as law, and then that would never happen to us again.
That's kind of double standard.
It is, but it's called an amendment, right? We had an amendment when they did the amendment for us to vote, so that minorities would be able to vote, and there's lots of other amendments that we've had along the way. So that's what would have to happen, is they would have to make an amendment to the Constitution, which is a process, but it can be done, and it could change everything. It could change the age limit for how long you could stay in. It could change, and it could change the fact that you can't be the president if you're a convicted felon.
Yeah, I just think that we're gonna come right back.
We are.
We are legally loaded.
Yes.
And we will be right back. I am Ice Cold Dre the Game.
And I'm Lady Esquire.
You're now listening to the #1 radio show.
Ready to stream the #1 station.
Power Blendz 99.8. Represent.
An angel has always been thought to be one of God's most precious works. Guess that's how she had you fooled. Because she was an angel in disguise. Hurt and pain could never come from her. So you left me only to find that pain involves her. But now you see your mistakes. Now you see the angel was a fake. My love was never misplaced. See, baby, my love is true. And most importantly, still I love you.
It's Power Blendz 99.8. It's your boy Easy. Don't touch that dial.
If I could, I'd give you
The bullet started above the couch and followed her down the hallway. 13 shots fired. Not one hit her. After foster care, abandonment, assault, and hope,
She can actually get that. Because it could be something big.
We're back.
Yes, we are.
Legally loaded.
Legally loaded.
It's our first episode. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
We're learning a little bit about government structure today.
Mm-hmm.
And so before we went to break, we learned that there's 3 parts
Right.
of the government per our Constitution, and those are the,
Legislative.
which are the rule writers, right?
Right. Then we have the president.
The president. He's the executive
Yeah,
branch,
but
the enforcer,
Sure.
allegedly.
And then we have the referee.
The referee, which is our court system.
Court systems.
Right. So, and we talked about how those 3 are supposed to keep each other in balance, and
Mhm.
that it's to prevent a monarchy, right? Which is kings and
Mhm.
queens. That's monarchy, which is why we keep seeing all these protests all over about no King's Day,
Right.
because that was never intended for our
Right.
country. So, we just want to spend a couple more minutes on talking about how is that impacting us right now? That these 3 branches are not working together the way they were designed to work together. And I think, on the break, we were talking about that we really want to put our focus on the thing we think is impacting the minority community the
Snap.
most. Snap. Exactly.
Snap. So,
exactly.
all right. So this is my thing with these government programs, right? With the government programs, it should never be a time where these programs ever shut down. And the reason for that is that our senior citizens, right? Our seniors, they rely on this, right?
100%. Yeah.
So if the government shuts down, that means they don't eat.
Right.
Their rent and nothing is being paid because the government has shut down, and this is a problem.
It's a huge problem.
It should never be, my point of view, it should never be a time that this happens because of the money the United States of America has.
It's kind of crazy, right? Because we're spending money on war,
Right.
which we talked about a little bit in the first segment. We're spending money on war. We're spending money on ballrooms.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing out here. Oh, wait, we're spending money on wrestling, MMA,
Yeah.
for birthday parties at the White House, and then new grass.
Right.
So we're spending money on all those things, yet the SNAP program is being cut by over $180 billion over a 10-year
Yes.
period. So
Yes.
it's absolutely wild, because how are we not thinking of people first? People first. Like that's what our country is built on. And as minority communities, we experience food insecurity 3 times faster than white communities do. And so this pullback on the SNAP benefits is impacting minority communities more than any other communities.
Right. And it's like Nappy's always said, he doesn't care about anything to do with people, really. He just focuses on himself. And that's an issue, because us as African American people, us as Latino, Mexican,
Right.
African, Haitians,
Just people of color.
people
all
of
the way
color
across the board.
we are the ones who suffer the most.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if we're millionaires or anything. We're just the wrong color.
Right. There's always going to be that extra obstacle, that
Mhm.
extra hoop to jump through,
Right.
simply because of what we look like.
Right.
That's something I had to learn the hard way
Mm.
some years ago because I'm biracial.
Mm.
I went to a class. It was a diversity training class, and I
Mm.
went to the class, and the facilitator at some point, we had a good balance of what he would say, people of color and people of non-color. And at some point he said, everyone who's a person of color, get up and go with me. And I felt really awkward about that because my mom is white, my
Mhm.
grandparents are white, I grew up in a white community, and I related to these people that were sitting around me. That man rocked my world because what he said was, Tamaris, you can identify with those white people all you want, but when they walk in the room, they see you as a Black woman, and there's nothing you can do to change that. So you are a person of color because that's how everyone else sees you. So let's go.
That's crazy work, right?
It was, but it was true, right?
It's
It was
facts.
something I had to
Right, it's
do some
definitely factual.
self-evaluation on because no matter what I do,
Mm.
no matter what I accomplish in life, I am always going to be seen as a person of color.
Hmm.
And so that's always going to be an obstacle for me. So that's absolutely true that we always have something else that we have to go through. So that being said, let's switch to our culture report for this week, right?
Yeah, this
Where
is a
we're going
good
to talk
one.
about protecting your creative bag.
Right, you have to.
You have to, right? And a
Mm.
lot of times as minorities, we don't know how to do that.
Right.
So what do you think about this lawsuit that we've been talking about, that T.I. and Tiny had to sue MGA Entertainment
Right.
over the OMG Girls doll line?
So the thing is with that, right? When you always have to have your paperwork in order, right?
Right.
So if your paperwork is not 100, if you ain't cross all your T's and dot your I's, right? You're doing something wrong.
Yep. And
So-
somebody will find that loophole.
Right. And when they found the loophole, you were suing for $70 million, right?
Yes. The original award was $71.5 million.
And they only walked away with 17.
17. Right. Because the lawsuit, they were awarded
Mhm.
the $71.5 million,
million.
which included $53.6 million in punitive damages, which
Right.
is like damages that are extra, right? And there's certain requirements we have to meet to even get punitive damages. So their lawyers did a great job. But, and that was because they proved that MGA Entertainment misappropriated the group's name, and they created neon haired likenesses and basically stole the culture, right? Stole the culture that T.I. and Tiny had created with these dolls, with the OMG dolls. So damages were awarded. However, that was later. They went back to trial later on, and when they went back to trial, a jury decided that those punitive damages were too high, and that's how they got back down to them being capped out at $17.9 million.
So basically, you went from 71.5 million, and the lawyers were so good, and you only walked away with $17 million.
Yes.
So
yes,
that means that all of your stuff, all your T's and I's were not crossed and dotted.
Yep. And to be real, I didn't look into it to see if their lawyers were retained or if they did this on contingency. But a lot of times when we don't have T.I. and Tiny money, a situation like this would be something taken on contingency. And that means that your lawyer would get 30% of your winnings. So that would be if it was you and I that own the OMG dolls and we got an attorney to take that on contingency and they get 30% of our $17.9 million.
Right. But have you even seen the product?
The OMG girls?
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen them. Yes, I think I bought some over the last couple of years for a couple of kids in my family. So, but yeah, regardless though, it's still a big win for them because they did prove that they took the creative bag, right? They took it from them and caused them to lose money. So it's still a big win for them. But it could have been bigger.
Right. It should have been bigger.
Right.
It definitely should have been bigger.
Right, exactly.
Definitely.
So let's see what else has been going on lately.
Let's do surviving the street and level surges.
Okay, so surviving the street. Let's really talk about ICE for a minute.
So
I'll let you go first.
ICE to me is like me and Tay Boogie playing cops and robbers, right?
Okay.
Because guess what? We're not police officers.
Good point. Yeah, they're not.
They're not police officers at all.
Right.
Right.
Not anymore. They're everyday people getting trained quickly to do this and getting sign-on bonuses.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing is, right. So you have. We can even include Links on the Move, Easy, Nappy. We can include all of us, right? So it's like they gave us badges, they gave us guns, and then they're saying, go out there and just arrest anybody.
Anybody brown.
Anybody? Okay. And on top of that, I don't care if you kill him.
That part.
I don't care. So ICE to me, they are just security guards with a gun.
Kind of like mall cops.
Exactly.
Mall cops.
Or like I said, it could be us at Power Blendz. It could be
right.
Tay. It could be anybody. It could be Brown Sugar.
Right.
It could be anybody.
And I don't think people even like the numbers. We hear them so quick, but the numbers are like literally as of last month, 350,000 Haitian and Syrian nationals lost their temporary protected status in the United States. 350,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, right? And it immediately stripped their legal status.
Right.
From hundreds of thousands of Blacks and minorities that in their communities. People are afraid to go out to go shopping.
Right.
There are other people helping out by doing things like gathering food boxes and then leaving them at a non-disclosed location because immigrants are afraid to come out of their house just to get the box.
Well,
baby diapers, all that type of stuff. Their daily living needs.
And what's crazy is they can have their papers in order. They can have everything in order, and these folk is still taking them out of here.
Right. Exactly.
Just like there was a case where, they ran up on this lady's car and one thing led to another and the guy killed her.
Minneapolis, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then they tried to say that she was trying to run over the ICE agents, and we've all seen the video.
Right.
I'll leave that to your own discretion, but we've all seen the video.
Right.
So I think it's really important. The thing that we leave people with regard to what's going on with ICE right now is that you do have rights. Okay, if you're here in the United States, you do have rights. And there's 3 really important rights that you need to understand and that you need to tell your family and friends. If you have people in your life that are immigrants, they need to understand. In fact, I would go as far as to say, write these 3 rights down, right on a piece of paper and post them by the front door of your house inside or post them on your refrigerator because when scary situations happen, panic kicks in, right? So the same way that you would write something to tell you what to do in an emergency if your child falls or something like that, write these things down so you don't forget. So the first thing is the 4th Amendment. The 4th Amendment is your door shield, and it's your right to be free from unnecessary search and seizure. So if someone comes to the door, don't open your door. They have to have a warrant. So make them slide the warrant under the door, right? Or some other manner to get it to you. And then check that warrant to make sure it's signed by a judge. Not an ICE officer, but a judge. Okay? If it's an administrative warrant, it can be signed by ICE or DHS, but They can't just walk into your house. That's different than a judge's signature. So don't be fooled by the signature. Check that signature and know what the warrant actually says. Even if you can't read the entire warrant, look at the bottom of the warrant for the signature and see who that's signed by. It will tell you if it's a judge, administrative officer, or whatever. Second thing is your Fifth Amendment, which is your silent shield. You have the right to remain silent. That's not always a bad thing.
Right.
Okay. So you don't have to answer questions about where you were born, how you got to the country, what your citizenship status is. You can just say, I'm exercising my Fifth Amendment right, and I wish to remain silent.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, don't sign any documents without speaking to an attorney.
Don't sign nothing.
Don't sign anything,
Right.
especially when we're talking about language barriers.
Mm-hmm.
Do not sign anything without speaking to an attorney. You have a right to an attorney. And if the attorneys that are there only speak English, you have a right to an interpreter.
Right.
So tell them to get someone to interpret for you. So that's what you need to know. Fourth Amendment right, don't open your door unless they have a valid warrant signed by a judge.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth Amendment right, you don't have to talk about this. And your right to an attorney. Make sure that you don't sign any documents without an attorney. Family members, we are not attorneys. We'll be right back.
Of course. Legally loaded. We'll be right back.
Turn your radio up for the station that plays no commercials. Power Blendz 99.8.
Got a lot of people talking to you.
I am paid to exist. Abundance on my lips. Every breath that I take is the proof of my gift. What I seek seeks me back. Every dream comes true.
It's this song right here.
I am light, I am whole. All abundance flows back. I align with the flow. Every seed that I planted will grow. I am guided, supported by the light I've embodied. I walk fearless and steady, my path in full glory. My heart, is the story. I am paid to exist. Abundance on my wrist. Every breath that I take is the proof of my gift. What I seek seeks me back. Every dream's on track. I am light, I am whole. All abundance flows back. Time is my ally, the present my gold. Every truth I embody turns to riches untold. From the silence I rise, from the stillness I see. All I need, all I ask flows with ease into me. I breathe in, I breathe out, I believe. I am here, I am blessed. I exist, I possess. I am paid to exist. Abundance on my list. Every breath that I take is a proof of my gift. What I seek seeks me back. Every dream's on track. I am light, I am whole. All abundance flows back.
The station that plays everything for you. Turn it up, turn it up. Classic hip hop and R&B on Power Blendz 99.8.
We all carry something. Walking through life with a weight on my back. Smiling on the outside, holding it intact. They say be strong, don't never let it show. But even strong hearts get tired, you know. We all need a moment. We all need a hand. Not just pressure to stand. Treat me gently. Even when I act strong. I've been holding it together for way too long. Oh, Ladies need love too, not just straight all the time. Don't confuse independence with I'm always fine. Even the men, they got weight on their chests. Sometimes they need peace, they just need to rest. We all got battles we don't always show. A little kindness goes further than you know. Treat me gentle, even when I act strong. I've been holding it together for way too long. Oh, treat me gentle. You don't see it all, but I'm still standing tall. Even when I fall. Be easy on you. Be easy on you. We all just trying to make it through it. No need to hold every little thing. A little love can heal everything. That's all I'm asking. A little softness don't mean I'm lacking. Treat me we all got scars, but we still shining just the way we are.
Power Blendz 99.8.
Turn up. It's alright. It's alright. You don't have to figure it out right now. Let the noise pass by. You don't have to answer every sound. Loosen your shoulders, unclench your hands. You've been holding the weight longer than you planned. Nothing is chasing you, nothing is calling you away. This moment is safe, you're allowed to stay. Let it come in slow. Force it, just let it flow. Just breathe, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. Just breathe. You don't have to try. Your heart already knows how to quiet your mind. There's nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to prove. The world can wait outside while you return to you. Feel your feet on the ground. Let the silence speak. Every answer you need doesn't live on the street. Let the exhale flow. Release it.
And we're back. We're back with Legally Loaded.
Yes, we are.
Lady Esquire.
Ice Cold Dre the Gang.
And we hope you're enjoying the information that we're sharing with
Exactly.
you today. Just want to remind everybody, give our legal disclaimers because we're legally loaded.
Right.
Everything we're discussing on the show is legal knowledge.
Right.
I'm not your attorney. Dre's not an attorney. So
Not at all.
We didn't sign up for that.
And y'all don't want me to represent you in court.
So, but every situation is different. And that's why it's important that you guys understand. Attorneys have to be licensed in the states that they practice in. So while we all go to law school, we're not all licensed all over. We don't all practice every single type of law. And so everything changes state to state and situation by situation.
Right.
So if we talk about things that you think apply to you, we've done our research to give you the best knowledge that we can, but always check with the licensed attorney in your state before
Always.
you make any moves.
Always. And don't call Dre. Don't go to my DM or anything talking about y'all need me to represent you. Because that's the bad thing.
Don't do it. So this is my favorite part of the show.
Okay.
Today's tea. Today's tea. Because there's always something going on
Always.
in our lives
Always.
that
Y'all ready for this one?
today's tea. So you tell them what are we talking about for today's tea?
Today's tea is restraining orders and baby mama daddy drama.
That's the tea.
That's the tea.
If
All right,
you're
so this is the
listening,
thing.
right? If you're listening, y'all know somebody.
Exactly.
Somebody.
Exactly.
So I mean, right. So
Let me ask you a question.
yes,
All right.
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. So, is it against the law if a baby mother or baby daddy put in a restraining order against one another, right?
Mhm.
And they go for a booty call? How does that work?
Somebody make it good because somebody's going to jail. It better be the best booty call ever. So this is what's crazy, and I see it all the time. So let's just say the baby mom puts out a restraining order on the baby dad because they got into an argument. He threw something in the house. She's mad. She calls the police, and now there's a restraining order on him or a bond condition. It can often be mistaken for the same, but a condition that says a legal order that says he can't come to the house.
Right.
All right. 24 hours later, everybody's cooled off, right?
Everybody.
She texting you like, babe, just come home. I was mad. I shouldn't have told you. I shouldn't have called the police. All right.
Right.
My bad. The baby missed you. Just come home. Just come home. You want me to do that one thing? Just come home.
Right.
So the dude get up and he go back to the house, right? Because she's the one that put him out. So he's thinking he's good. He has it in writing. She texted him.
Right.
And she said, come back. Now he go back to the house, but maybe she looked at his phone and find out who he was talking to last night when she put him out. And now she's flipping out. She calls the police and says, he's over here. And he's not allowed to be over here because there's a restraining order.
So now he's in check.
Bruh, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. And here's why. Because when the police come, what are you going to say? Officer, it's in my phone. I can show you. I can show you. How many times have we seen the body cam where the hands are behind their back and they're saying, just get my phone and I'll show you? It doesn't matter because there's a court order that says you cannot go over there. And that court order does not go two ways. Restraining orders are a one-way street. So it's you, whoever the restraining order is against, cannot go to that location, cannot be within 50 feet of that person. That person cannot just withdraw the restraining order because it's signed by a judge. So that person has to go to the court and ask for the restraining order to be withdrawn and explain to the judge why it should be and get it withdrawn. So it's not just because they sent you a text and said, come over.
Right.
And the judge isn't going to care when you show up to court with your text messages and say, she told me I could come over, because he's going to say, but what did I tell you? What did I tell you through my written order?
So that means to us, do not follow the Jimmy Snooker.
Don't even answer the text message, because
Do not.
your restraining order is going to say you can't talk to them. So even if you write back to say, I'm not allowed to talk to you, you just talk to them to tell them that. Block them, block them.
You're right.
Screenshot the messages,
Mm.
okay? Because you may need those later.
Right.
Because later on, somebody might say, I'm scared to death of Dre. They might come to court and say that, and you can be like, for real? Because you was messaging me on Tuesday, talk about some come over. So screenshot the messages.
Exactly. Save them. Do it
Okay.
all.
And don't think that everything on Snapchat disappeared. It did not.
It didn't.
It
Not
didn't
at all.
disappear. The police can get to it.
Mm.
So restraining orders, bond conditions, PPOs, they're called in some states, are one way. And what I would
Right.
say is we looked at this. It's all 50 states. They are one way. Unless there's that caveat where you can have a mutual restraining order sometimes where both people agree. I won't contact you, you won't contact me.
Mhm.
And they make that agreement in front of the judge.
Right.
But in general, one-way streets. Absolute one-way streets.
Before we go any further, right? Let's look in our chat real quick and talk to the people.
Yes. So great. So the issue is too many people, mostly women, have used and abused restraining orders and domestic violence claims. So it's like watered down. So you never know when it's truly a serious issue. That's 100% true. Too many people use and abuse the system. I think that historically it was a lot of women, but it goes both ways now. It does go both ways now. And so we don't know when it's really serious or not, but what is serious is a court order, and a restraining order is a court order. So whether we feel it's serious individually or not, your freedom is serious. The court order says don't go, so don't go, because that will be serious.
So this is the thing, right? When you are definitely inside of a relationship, right?
Yes.
You have to look at both sides of the situation
Right.
before it even escalates to I'm gonna do a restraining order or a PPO.
100%.
You have to. That's why we have to talk to one another.
Yeah.
I know sometimes things get out of hand and all this kind of stuff, but I'm going to say this. Men, I'm going to really say this to you guys, man. These women is not your property.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that means if your dad didn't beat your moms up, don't be out here beating women up.
Right.
I can understand y'all get into a heated argument, but do not put your hands on her, because at the end of the day, 24 hours go by, you're crying, talking about, I'm sorry.
Yes.
But now, in between that 24 hours, when the police get there, there's a report.
There's a report.
There's
And
a report
a charge.
and a charge.
Yep. And not only that, let me just say that if a restraining order gets issued on you and you feel that it's been incorrectly issued because the person who wrote the statement did not tell the truth, object to it.
Right.
Object to it. Know what your rights are. You have a right to object to that and ask for a hearing, and then go in and show the judge why. Because if that restraining order is improperly issued against you, that's on your record, and it's going to stay for a period of time. When the police show up later, they're going to see that there's a restraining order.
Right.
Or if someone runs your background check, they may see that that's there, depending on how your state's background check works. So don't just let that sit because you figure, whatever, I ain't going over to so-and-so's house anyway.
Right.
Don't just let it sit because there's some other areas of your life that it could impact. Some states, it could mean that you can't carry weapons anymore.
Right.
You may be a licensed carrier, and now you can't carry to protect yourself.
Right.
Because you allowed the restraining order to sit. So make sure that if you really didn't, and I'm not saying, don't go in here arguing with the judge telling them you didn't do anything, and this girl show up with eyes like a raccoon or vice versa. Don't do that, because you just look stupid when you get there. But if you genuinely didn't do it, if you really have Ring doorbell cams at your house and you can show that there was no physical altercation, then object to that and go in and show, because the next time the court would be less likely to issue that restraining order for someone who has previously not been honest.
Right.
So make sure that you do that.
And that also goes for women as well, right? Because women these days, they take self-defense classes, so they
Yeah.
feel like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna choke him out. So
It's a lot
don't go
going on.
get discharged either, women, ladies,
Don't do
okay?
it, because it happens now.
Because guess what happens, right? And it's like a revolving door. So the thing is, basically, if you are the aggressor, you're going to prison.
Absolutely. You're getting arrested. And somebody's getting a bond conditional restraining order. So we're getting to the end of our show. Let's recap.
Sure.
So that everybody can remember what we talked about this week. So we talked about the 3 branches
Yes.
of government, right?
Legislative.
The legislative rule writers.
Right.
The executive branch, which is the
Which
enforcers.
is the president.
Yes. And the judiciary.
Which is the courtroom.
The courtroom, exactly. And that they all need to work together. And that when they don't work together to do their
It's
job,
chaos.
It's chaos. And we see that happening right now.
Exactly.
We talked about protecting your creative bag when you've got something going on. We know that there's a lot of you out there that are creating things, music, books, songs, everything, that you need to make sure that you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's.
Exactly.
And make sure that that's happening, because there could come a time when you really have to protect your rights.
Exactly.
And then we talked about for immigration, making sure that you are knowing your rights. And last but not least, today's tea. If there's a restraining order, a PPO, personal protection order,
do not go back for the cookie.
It's one-way street. One-way street away from the cookies. So we hope that you were able to learn a lot from us this week.
Exactly.
If you like what we had to say,
exactly.
Tune in next Saturday.
Exactly. And we are legally loaded.
Stream the #1 station.
Blendz 99.8.
One down, one to